Hey, what's up everyone? UFC 273 went down this weekend. Two title fights, but the fight everyone was talking about was the fight between Khamzat Chimaev and Gilbert Burns. And I did a video before which I talked about the fight and what I thought would happen and the result. So I'm gonna break down the fight here and talk about the fight, the fighters, and the futures for the Swede and for also for Burns. So here's the thing. Khamzat went into this fight as a heavy favorite. And that was kind of unheard of because he was ranked 11 at the time, while Burns was ranked as number 2 in the division. So why this happened was because Khamzat had 4 fights in UFC, which was wins by pure domination. It was really the last fight when he met Li Jingliang, for example, he just picked him up, went to the corner side where Dana White was sitting, slammed him down on the ground and took a submission. And no fight has went beyond the second round, except this fight now with Burns. But Gilbert Burns is a huge not a huge, he is a great grappler, and he is huge in the BJJ community, and his grappling is top notch, world class level. Also, he has good wrestlings, heavy hands, and his place at the ranking as number 2 was it's deserved, I would say. So I was predicting the fight would end with Chimaev as winner, which did happen, but the fight went all 3 rounds, and it was little back and forth. Both fighters did a really great job, and both fighters also got a bonus from Dana White after the fight, and I think they got the Fight of the Night award, which was really deserved. Consider what else was going on the card. So Chimaev went out strong as usual. I thought he would go for more takedowns. He did went for takedowns in the first round. Got Burns down actually, even though Burns defended really well, and that was something I expected because he is a good wrestler and a good grappler. But instead of controlling the position, it looked like Khamzat actually let Burns up. And from what I understood after the fight, when they did an interview with Khamzat, he said that he was afraid of Burns' submissions. And that I understand, because he is a good grappler, as I've been pointing out now for like 10 times. But you should be aware that even if you're on top of Burns, you can get finished. So that was a smart move by Khamzat, I think. And he has decent hands. We could see that in this fight. He actually managed to hit Burns with a straight, I think it was a jab even, with a straight jab, and put him on the canvas in the end of the first round. It looked like the match might even be over by that point, but as a veteran as Burns is. He survived and got up on his feet, and the round ended in favor of Chimaev, I would say. The second round, it was a bit different. It seemed like Burns had managed to get the range and found his range and found his distance, and he started to actually hit Khamzat. He managed to knock him down, I think 2 or 3 times, and even though Chimaev seemed to be the one pressing the fight, he got hit a lot, and here is the point I think Khamzat need to work on. He can't get into these firefights. We saw that he got hit and he tried to hit back, and he got clocked again with some kind of counter, and that nearly spelled the end of the fight for the Swede in this round. So, and you could see that even in when the round ended and they went back to the corners, you can hear Andreas Michael, Khamzat's coach, scream in Swedish that he shouldn't stand up and box. So he was really desperate, and I think I know why, because he went in there and he headhunted, and it nearly ended up bad for Chimaev. So he went out in the third round a little more patient. Still, I would think he would go for more takedowns, but after the fight and after the interview, I understand why. But at this point in the third round, both fighters were tired, and you could see Burns had slowed down considerably. Also Khamzat, but I think Khamzat had a little more energy. So I would say, as a coach, I would have told him to mix in takedowns there, at least to make the other fighter worry a bit about the takedowns. You don't have to stay on the ground, but at least do the takedowns and maintain control. If it gets dicey, gets up on your feet again. So at this point, when they went out in the third round, it was 1-1 in rounds. I think Khamzat won the first round and Burns won the second round. Third round could have gone either way. I do think that Khamzat did more that round, but I wouldn't have been surprised if it had went to Burns either. So as a Swede, I am glad that Khamzat got a nod, but yeah, it was a close fight, and it could have gone either way. What to say about this fight? The thing with Khamzat before this fight, he was 10-0 overall in MMA, 4-0 in UFC, as I said, and the problem I saw was that we haven't seen enough of Khamzat. I have seen that he has kind of good stand-up in his fights before UFC, but he hadn't really showed it, except the knockout of Merchart, but that was a one-punch knockout, so it was hard to see if it was if he had a good stand-up in that one. In the other fights, he had used his stand-up skills to just get on the inside, get the takedowns, and finish the fight from there. So this was a good fight for Khamzat, I think. You could see he could last 3 rounds. He have striking, and yeah, we know he had wrestling and grappling even before, but you could see he has striking. The thing is that he need to work on being more patient and don't get into firefights and stand in the pocket and trade. I know he wanted to finish the fight, but I would say that, well, of course, Burns hits really, really hard. So you could also see that Khamzat has a chin, which is good to see. But it could have ended in the second round. I think it was a brink of a knockout there for a while when Khamzat got hit and went down on his knees. He went for a takedown to secure and protect himself, but if Burns had been a little faster, I think it could have ended there. So he need to be more patient and do not need to chase the knockout so much. I think it also was he talked a lot of shit before the fight and talked about he wanted to end the fight in the first round, and maybe got a little bit desperate when the fight went to the second round. I think I saw some kind of desperate motions in the second round, but he found his footing again in the third round and could compose himself and edge out a decision. So both for him and both for us as viewers and fans, I think it was good to see that he is not immortal in the octagon. He actually can be hit. He is a human being. He knows it too. He even said after the fight that he liked the fight, even though he was hurt, he was bleeding, he was tired. He liked this type of fights. So based on what I saw, it seemed now like Dana White want to set up a fight with him and Colby Covington on ABC. So we'll see about that. And I read now recently that he jumped from 11 to ranked number 3 in the division. So if he can snatch a win from Colby, I expect him to get a chance at the title, which I wonder if he's ready for. I am kind of hesitant because Usman is both dangerous on his feet and of course he has a good wrestling. So if Khamzat goes in and try to trade with Usman like this, he will end up getting knocked out. I am 100% sure. So I would say I would like him to at least get 1 or 2 fights before the title shot, but he did really well against Burns, and people have if you look on the internet and look online, you can see that people are kind of criticizing him for being exposed, but I think it's goes more toward you kind of discredit Burns because Gilbert Burns was number 2 for a reason. He is a good fighter. He has good grapplings. He has good stand-up, and he did give Usman a run for his money when he got the title shot. So the fight went 3 rounds, and I think it was more because of how good Burns is. But it also shows that Khamzat has the skills to be on the top. So ranking him at number 3 now, I think it's a good spot for him. But I would like him to get one or two more fights before getting a title shot. We'll see. Personally, I would like him to. Well, I would like them to book him against Leon Edwards, because that was a fight they tried to do before, but because of injuries and Khamzat getting sick, I think that fight might be a good thing to set up, because it would make him have to polish a little more on the striking and also not get into this type of firefights, because if it does, I think Usman will end it really quick. Also, I think that Edwards now might be interested to... He said before that he wasn't interested to fight Khamzat anymore after all these fights being cancelled. But now when he is ranked number 3, Edwards might be interested again. So I think that would be a good fight to see. Otherwise, Colby Covington, of course. And I think that would be a good fight. I don't think that Colby has the power to knock out Khamzat, but he brings pressure, and it would be interesting to see what Khamzat does when someone is putting so much pressure on you as Colby does. And he also can do that for 5 rounds or 10 rounds or whatever, so it will really show the chops for Khamzat. But we'll see. But as Dana White said after the fight and even before the fight, it seems like Colby Covington will be next. As for Burns, of course lost, but against a very good opponent. As I said, Khamzat was no slouch, and Burns, of course, was no can, so he got bumped down a little in the ranking, but I think he can work his way up. And in my eyes, even though no matter who gets to fight Usman, and no matter if Khamzat or Burns get the belt, I think there will be a rematch between Burns and Khamzat, because the fight was also really fun to see, and it might be a candidate for a fight of the year. So and I like both guys, and I wish them the best, and I hope we will see a second fight in the future between the two, because I think as a fan I would be really happy to see if they improve and how they are improving. About the rest of the card, I predicted Volkanovski to beat Korean Zombie, which he did, knockout. It went about how I would expect. Volkanovski is a really good fighter. Zombie is durable, but I thought Volk had edge, and I was right. For the main event, for the co-main event between Aljamain Sterling and Petr Yan, I thought that Petr Yan would win, and I thought it would go between first and second round, but my prediction was wrong. Sterling actually won by decision, and he did it quite well, not dominant, but I would say he did what he had to win the fight. And I also made a prediction of McKenzie Dern's fight with Tisha Torres, and McKenzie won by decision. It was a kind of a close fight. Tisha Torres was the stronger fighter and better standing, and you could see that McKenzie had problems with getting her takedowns. She even went for jumping guard in the second round versus first round. Well, she jumped guard anyway, and latched on to Kimura. So, and she actually held this Kimura for quite a long time. And at one point, I thought that Torres actually would have to tap. It was when McKenzie put her leg over the head and they went to the ground, and she really cranked on the Kimura. But Torres is really strong, and you could see that also when McKenzie was kind of hanging in the arm, and not many fighters can keep the position like that when the arm is in that position behind your back. So big props for Torres to actually survive that grip. And we know that McKenzie has a really, really good submission game and good grappling, and is a BDD practitioner who is world class. So to survive that, big props. But a win for Dunn, which I predicted. I thought that maybe it would be a submission, and it nearly did, but I didn't expect Torres to be such a strong lady. So yeah, but for my predictions, 3 out of 4, not bad. Maybe not. The result was maybe not exactly what I expected, but I at least managed to make the predictions right about who would win and how, and who would lose. So yeah, what did you think about UFC 273? Do you have any opinions about the matches? And yeah, if you have, write a comment below, ring the bell, put a like. I would really appreciate it. And I do not have so much more to say for now, but until next time, I hope you all will have a great day, and I will see you next week. Bye.